Hello, and thank you for watching this video from us here at Sustainable Aylesbury, where today we're going to be talking with Richard from the Aylesbury Wombles. We're titling this one, Cleaning Up with the Aylesbury Wombles. Without further ado, welcome, Richard. Good to have you with us.
Hello.
So I guess a good place to start is, who are you? Introduce yourself, if you'd be so kind.
Well, yeah, I'm Richard Walker. I'm the head Womble of the Aylesbury Wombles and also the co-founder as well with my daughter. Yeah, that's who I am. So yeah.
Great stuff. It's really good to have you with us today, and thank you for taking the time. So when you're not wombling, what do you do? What's your kind of day job?
I'm a bus driver. So
Okay.
yeah, I drive buses. I was a chef for many years, which I gave up when I turned 40 because I just got sick of working weekends.
Yeah.
Wanting to do stuff like what I'm doing with the Wombles, it's always something I've always wanted to do, volunteering and helping in the community, but just never been able to do it because of my job.
Yeah.
So that was not the main factor of it, but it was one of the many reasons why I gave up catering and hospitality and became a bus driver. It made my life so much easier, and the shift patterns and everything else, just working more favorably for your family and your life, I suppose.
I can imagine so, and certainly from looking at your Facebook, you've combined wombling with your day job. I regularly see like bus stop bins and stuff overflowing on your social media, which is cool. Why not combine those two things?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it does. You're doing anywhere between 40 and 50 hours at work, and then I probably devote 20 to 30 hours a week to wombling. I think my wife would say it'd be more than that, especially at the moment because there's nothing else to do. You can't go out, you can't go to the pub. I'm a massive football fan. I can't go and watch live football. It's just, so this wombling sort of has taken over my life a little bit.
Yeah. Well, like you say, in lockdown, there isn't much else to do. It's so boring right now. I can't wait for us to unlock.
It's what you make. It's what you make of it.
Yeah.
You joined us on the lay-by on Saturday. You'd have found that very interesting. So it's what you get out there and do. So.
I agree. We ended up doing a bit of solo. Well, I don't know, solo as in not with a group, with the kids over the weekend. We did a bit of wombling locally, so we do a bit ourselves. I guess I should probably actually introduce myself. So I'm one of the founders of Sustainable Aylesbury. My name's Bruce Cullen, and that's probably all that's really important to know about me. Yeah. So that's really cool. So I guess, who are the Aylesbury Wombles? What do you actually do? I've kind of inferred a few bits and pieces, but in your own words.
Well, we're basically, Aylesbury Wombles is a community volunteer litter picking group. We go around different places around Aylesbury. We have been a little bit out of Aylesbury as well, but mainly in Aylesbury. 98% of the work we do is in Aylesbury. And we go and litter pick and try and make our town a cleaner, greener, better place to live, pretty much. I'm just getting sick. I was getting sick to death of seeing litter, and just like, we hear people moaning about council not doing enough and this, that, and the other. And it's not. We need to do more ourselves. Get out in the community, build up the community. Sense of purpose of what we're trying to achieve. The council is not the council's fault. It's these. I'm going to use the word tossers because that's what I call them. It's the tossers that throw the litter down onto the floor. It's them. They have no care about the community, no love for where they live. And that's really frustrating. And I just think that having the people, a big army of people, which is what we now have, going out and making a difference in our community. Hopefully, the tide will turn, and it comes down to education at the end of the day, and that's where it all starts.
I agree with all of it, especially that people always go on about, the council need to do more. At the end of the day, it's taxpayers' money that the council will use to do this. And if we all just took a bit more pride in our community, and took some action ourselves, then happy days, basically. So I completely agree with everything.
Another thing you hear is, you shouldn't have to do this. And I go, yeah, you're quite right. I shouldn't have to do this if tossers didn't throw the stuff on the floor. It's not the council's job. It's their take it home, put it in your pocket, take it home. If I can do that, you know, and you can do that. And probably 95% of the people watching this video can put it in their pocket and take it home, or until they find a bin. Take it home's best, but if you find a bin, put it in the bin. You know, we can do that. It's just that it's that little small minority that just make it. And it people that do say that to me, I do think, I wonder if you are a tosser.
Yeah. The secret tossers. I'm sure there are a few of them out there. Yeah.
There's plenty of secret tossers, I'm sure. Yeah,
yeah, you and me both. So I guess.
Well, I'm not.
So snap. At least not that I know. So I guess as far as the Wombles is concerned, how did it come to be? How did you get into it in the first place?
Well, I've always been I've always hated litter. I've always disliked it. And it was doing stuff with my daughter. She was learning about education at school, and I was like, come on, let's go out and, you know, do something about it. And we're walking along. We were actually walking to Stone. We were walking from Aylesbury to Stone. I was going to, one Sunday lunchtime, I'm going to have a couple of pints in the pub there. And we went for a walk, and she picked up a McDonald's cup when they were doing the Monopoly promotion.
Oh yeah.
Pulled they still had the sticker on it. Pulled it off. Won an apple pie or whatever it was. She's like, Dad, I won an apple pie. She was 14 at the time, so I was like, yeah, okay, that's good. She said, but I don't know what to do with this now. I don't want to throw it on the floor. And I said, well, yeah, that's right. We'll just keep it till we get a bin. Then she started going, well, look at it. It's, you know, there's loads of it everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, there is. It's disgusting. She goes, yeah. So anyway, we went to the pub. I had a pint of Guinness, and then she come back with a bin bag. She'd asked the barmaid for a bin bag. And so on our way home, with our hands, we had no gloves, no nothing. We decided we'd pick up. I'm going to use the word clean litter. I don't know if that's the right term, but you know, we'd pick up stuff that wasn't covered in muck, and put it into the bag. And by the time we got to Aylesbury, that bag was overflowing. We could have probably filled another one, to be fair. So we disposed that bag, and she said, I wonder if we can get more people to do this. And I said, well, we'll just do it ourselves to start with, and just see, you know, let's do some sort of research into it, I suppose, and see if there is a litter picking group that we could join, or you know, within the area and stuff. So we started doing it ourselves, brought ourselves equipment, and found that there was one group called the Aylesbury Community Cleanup, I think. They met once a month, but it didn't kind of coincide with what we were doing, and we weren't able to get to the meeting. So we're like, okay. So she said, well, why don't you just start up our own? She said, there doesn't seem to be anything else about. So I'm like, okay. So then it sort of snowballed from there, really. So we started up on June 2019. 2019. So that's when we started up by starting up a Facebook group to start with, and then we opened a page, and it kind of snowballed from there.
Cool. So how many were at the first pick then, when you sort of started up, when it wasn't just the two of you? Was it like, you know?
It was me, Abigail, and a lady who still comes out with us now. I love her to bits, Frances. There was the three of us. That was it. Okay. I think we got 6 bags between the three of us. And it was really good. We wanted it where I brought a few pickers and supplied the bin bags myself out of my own pocket. And then I approached the town council, Aylesbury Town Council, and they said, oh, we got a community litter picking kit. Why don't you use that? So I'm like, okay, that'd be great. I said, but I do want to get my own kit. I don't want to be relying on your kit, so I had to keep taking it back. So I'd borrow it, take it back, borrow it, take it back. Two forward. In the end, they said, well, you keep hold of it, and then we'll arrange if we need it, or another group wants it, we'll arrange with you, and we'll either split the kit, or or take it off your hands or whatever. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's great. But we wanted to do more. We wanted to go out like midweeks and start doing Saturday ones, and I think we were really trying to push it, but what was holding us back was the equipment. But the town council, we had that community kit, and then last June, beginning of July, I got this lovely phone call that said, Richard, we're going to buy you your own kit. I'm like, oh, it's magic. So she said I had to keep it all under hush hush at the time, and so the Aylesbury Town Council brought us 50 litter pickers, 50 high-vis jackets, 50 bin hoops. Gave me 1,000 bags as well, which we used in 5-6 weeks, I think.
Gosh.
So yeah, so that really started us off, and then sort of I suppose from last July 2020 is where it really went mad. You know, I wish I'd have written down the numbers of how many followers we had on Facebook and stuff. But it kind of went mad from there, because in June last year we set up a committee. So we're committee run, if you like. So we got a bank account, and we got a constitution, and we got 11 of us, I think, sit on the committee. 12 of us sit on the committee. There's chairman, which is myself, and then we've got a treasurer and a secretary, but they're not called that. They're called a money womble and a paper womble. We've got an arty womble who does all our artwork. We've got Kofi Womble, who's a negotiator. He goes into big businesses and negotiates. So yeah, so we're getting more and more people involved, trying to give them cool nicknames, I suppose, is the way as well. Make it a bit of fun.
Yeah, definitely. And the nicknames definitely do help. You see them pop up and you think, who is Paper Womble? It's got,
Womble, yeah. Trolley Womble. We've got Trolley Womble, who just loves trolleys. She gets so excited when she sees a trolley. So she coined the name Trolley Womble. Who else have we got? Oh, we've got Water Womble. If you ever need to find Water Womble, he's always in water. Even if it's a puddle, he's stood in a puddle. I mean, he's mad for water. He loves water, and he's really jealous because he hasn't been in the waders yet. And he hasn't been in the middle of the brook like I've been in the middle of the rivers on a cold, frosty morning. He hasn't done that yet.
That does actually look super fun. I'm well up for doing that myself at some point. That's cool. So you were the first sort of like decent sized litter picking group in Aylesbury. Were you the first to use the name Wombles, or were there other groups going?
No, there's other groups around the country that are called Wombles. That's why, because when we first started, we were called it Aylesbury Litter Walks, is what we called ourselves. It just didn't sound right. And then once we started, like I said earlier, we were doing like the research and stuff online. We found a Facebook group called UK litter picking groups, which is basically loads and loads of different groups from around the country that do exactly the same as us. And there's one that I particularly follow called the Wombles of Hambleton, which is up north in Yorkshire. And they're really hot. I mean, they're so hot on everything. I was like, oh, Wombles, yeah, okay. I remember the Wombles when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So let's call it Aylesbury Wombles. That sounds really cool. There's other Womble named groups around the country. Seems like the thing to do. So we changed it to that, and then it sort of kind of went from there. So there is other groups called something or other Wombles or Wombles of around the country.
Sounds good. So one of the questions I had in my list was kind of, what's the effect of COVID? You've kind of answered that a little bit already. You said summer last year, so in between lockdown 1 and 2, I guess, was when you guys really took off. So okay, I'll ask the question, how has COVID affected you, positively or negatively?
Well, it's got from a group perspective on the amount of people we're getting out, and if you look at our baggage, because Money Womble, she's good on spreadsheets. So she spreadsheets are monthly picks, how many bags we get every month. And if you look at it from July last year, it's gone from like 80, 90 bags a month to, I think the least we've had is 280, which was October. But it went from like 80, 90 bags, 100 bags, up to 600, nearly 700 bags we had in August. So, it's gone. Yeah, it went mental after the lockdown. From a negative point of view, there's just more litter out there because of people are takeaway. Everything's takeaway, drive through. Even this morning, I've been out this morning on a 280. I drove a 280 to Oxford this morning, and I was going through Hadnam. As you were saying about me taking pictures of bins by bus stops.
Yeah. And
there's a bin there that's absolutely overflowing. It's chocker, absolutely chocker. There's rubbish all around it, but behind there is a coffee shop, and everything I could see. I didn't get out of the bus, but because it was just a quick drop off and away I went. But the everything I could see was from that coffee shop, and so that bin I've never seen that full. before. Poo bags is another one. We've seen a lot of bins being full of poo bags, and because people are out walking, like we said earlier, there's nothing to do. So a lot more people out walking. So which is a good thing. People are getting out and being more active in the community, walking around, but they're leaving their footprint behind, and that's that. But then on the thing side, we've grown to a thing where we can cover a bigger area now, and that's probably a little bit more to do with it as well. We've collecting more rubbish.
Definitely. The one I've noticed is loads of disposable face masks. You see them everywhere. Caught in bushes, hanging from trees, just everywhere.
The interesting stat, like I said to you earlier, I'm a football man, so I'm big on. I love my stats. I just adore stats. And there was one that came out. I think it was last week, maybe the week before. That now the masks is 1.5% of the total litter on our streets in the country, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you think that this time last year that 1.5% wasn't there, so it's it's quite staggering.
I guess when you think about that in like literally tons of litter, it's a lot of rubbish.
It's a lot. And you can't. We start with. I found a couple in the when I jumped into California Brook a couple of weeks ago on a cold, frosty morning. I did find some masks in there. I've got to the point now where I stop talking about it because they're becoming common as McDonald's wrappers, and Coke bottles. They're coming as common as that now.
Yeah, I can believe it. Not a good place to be. Not a good place to be. So moving slightly on, so these days, how frequently do you guys meet, and what's the kind of, how do you meet? Do you have different groups for different ages, all that kind of thing?
So we in September last year we started up the Womble Teens, which is a group that's aimed at just teenagers, so anybody between the ages of 13 to 18. It's aimed towards them. It's run by Ryan, a lovely lad. He runs it. He's only 18 himself, so he runs that. He does everything on Instagram, I think, because that's where the kids are at. I'm too old for Instagram, so they're all on that. So there's an Instagram group solely for the Womble Teens, and then he posts. They're not doing anything at the moment because of COVID, and obviously we're not doing anything group wise. So we're promoting solo wombling, as you talked about earlier, or bubble wombling. So you go out. We've got 100 kits out there on loan at the moment, but 100 litter pickers and all sorts. The kit, everything you need to litter pick with your family and stuff is what we're doing at the moment. And then we have currently we have an agreed drop-off point for any bags on a Sunday evening that's agreed with the council. People have to book a time slot for us with me to stop overcrowding from happening. But group sessions, hopefully, Mr. Johnson is announcing stuff today, so we'll have a little bit clearer, hopefully, on when we can get back to big groups. We have been going out as what we call the Grot Spot team, hitting small areas that we've been meaning to do for a long time, but not been able to do because logistically the parking might be a bit naff. It doesn't warrant having 40 people there. So we're hitting small areas quite well with the Grot Spot team. But the group sessions everything will be posted. We do everything on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. We've got an Instagram as well. So everything's posted on there where we are, meet times, location. We supply everything, so you don't. If you've got your own pickers and stuff, brilliant, bring them along. But if you haven't, don't worry. We've got all of that. Everything's sanitized. We've got hand gel. We respect social distancing. Everything's in place. You just got to turn up, basically. All we ask for is you got a good pair of shoes on your feet because you don't know where you're going to be walking. And a smile on your face and a willingness to make a difference. That's pretty much it. That's all you need.
Yeah, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. My wife Shannon is taking the kids who are 2 and 4 to join you guys. When would that have been? Probably like August last year, something like that.
I think she came to. Where did I first meet her? Oh, I can't remember. I've met so many people.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Walton Court, was it Walton Court?
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they enjoyed it, and we do it just like as a family around the local area, and it's crazy the amount you pick up, even when at a glance you think that looks relatively clear. So the other day we found in a bush like maybe 3 bin bags worth in one bush, and the weirdest thing was a bra in there. But I bet you've got better stories of weird and wonderful things. So as a segue, what's the weirdest and most wonderful thing that you guys have found on a pick?
Now, I showed the list of questions to Womble HQ, which is where the committee sit, which is it's basically a WhatsApp group, and we call it Womble HQ. So I showed a list of questions. They went, Richard, please don't say what we think you're going to say for the weirdest thing that we've ever found. But I am going to say it, and I'm really sorry to the committee that I'm going to tell you this. We have found a gentleman's vibrator. I think it's probably the weirdest thing that we've found.
That is definitely a weird thing.
Yeah. And funny enough, because I've helped give advice and helped set up the Tame Wombles.
Okay.
In Tame, over the border in Oxfordshire, which is my hometown. Actually, that's where I'm from. And I got approached by a couple of people over there saying, "Could you help us set up a Wombles group over here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can point in the right direction and stuff. It's my hometown." My mum's actually involved in it quite. She's I think they call her keyboard Womble. She can't get out and walk as much as she wants to, but she wants to help. So she does all like the admin stuff for them. And they actually found a gentleman's vibrator on Friday. So they're in with the club, so they're everywhere.
I love it's not just a one-time occurrence; they're just everywhere. Wherever you look.
Yeah, and you talk about bras. We did the lay-by on Saturday just outside Bearton, and I think there was 25 bras in the hedge there. Yeah, around about that. 25 bras. There was all sorts. I'm not even going to go into disgusting. Some of it was really disgusting. I don't want to put people off. But there was a lot of bras in there.
I saw on obviously Facebook and that when you found a BB gun and called the police. I've seen all kinds of things you guys find.
Yeah, we had the BB gun. We knew it was a BB gun, but we just didn't know. It could have had something in there. It's in the eye. Was it used was it used for something more sinister? So we're like, well, the right thing to do is to call the police. They sent out an armed police, 2 lovely policemen in an armed police van or whatever they were. They all had guns on and all up to the hilt, in the uniform. And I said, I think it's a BB gun. I said, but you just don't know. It had no trigger on it either. You just don't know. So they disarmed it and everything else. They went home with some homemade flapjacks, so they were happy.
Sounds like a good day out for them. That's cool. Brilliant. So as far as sort of after COVID, how frequently do you guys plan to get back to meeting?
Well, we definitely meet every Sunday. Every Sunday morning. We religiously meet every Sunday morning. We meet Saturdays where we can as well. A lot of that depends on work for me or whether somebody else can run it. We have been known to have 2 or 3 litter picks running together. In the summer, what worked really well this year was midweek Wombles. So we were going out on a Wednesday evening, sort of 7 o'clock in the evening, when it was nice and lovely outside, and that seemed to work really well last year. So we'll probably do that again this year. See how that goes. Yeah, so 3 times a week in the summer, twice a week in the winter, but it can be more meetings than that. There could be. We've had 3 litter picks running together at the same time in different parts of Aylesbury. So I would run one, and then Water Womble would run one, and Money Womble would run one. Or Queen Womble. We got Queen Womble. Pearl, she'd run one. Yeah, because she's just immense. You'll always find if you ever see an Aylesbury Womble jacket deep in a hedge, it will be Pearl. 100%, it will be Pearl. I love Pearl to bits, and she's a staunch, hardcore Womble. So she gets called the Queen Womble.
The Queen Womble.
So that's her, Her Majesty. Yeah, I mean, you have to curtsy when you see her as well. I'll embarrass her. Come on.
They're all awesome titles. They're one of those things that, like, you work towards over years of wombling, which is cool. So what's your highlight of the Aylesbury Wombles since getting going, since those early days?
Yeah, highlights would be just meeting like-minded, fantastic people. I think you can't ask. It's not about how much rubbish we've collected or how much tonnage we've collected, how many bags we've got, how much equipment we've got. It's not about that. It's the fantastic people I meet.
Yeah.
Week in, week out. Even if I just meet them once a month, or they come every week, or they're there every single time we go out. It doesn't matter. I love them all, and I just love meeting new people, and it's fantastic. And that for me is the highlight. That's that for me.
It makes total sense. It's the people is the why of quite a lot of these sorts of things. Same with what we're doing, with Sustainable Aylesbury. It makes total sense. Has anything come out of Wombles you weren't expecting to come out of it?
I don't think so. I think at the start it was really hard. It was hard to get it all up and running, and I had to really knock down some doors to get it going. The fantastic support I had because when I got that support from the town council right at the beginning, Aylesbury Town Council, I was on the verge of going, do you know what? Is there much point in doing this? Do I just do it on my own? But Judith and the team down at the town hall, they really pushed me. Come on, Richard, you can do this. You need anything, we're here to help you. And they did. They pointed me in the right directions on where I needed to go within Aylesbury Vale District Council. It was then, and so that's opened doors up there. We sit on a committee now with Bucks Council. We sit on an environment committee with there.
Yeah.
So they're looking to do more around the environment and the rivers and the streams. I didn't realise how much river and streams actually run through Aylesbury. It's a lot. It's not just the canal and the River Tame. It's all these little brooks and stuff which don't have like friends of. The River Thame's got friends of River Tame. You've got the Canal Trust looking after the canal, but California Brook is an important part of that waterworks, I suppose. It's only a little stream, but it runs up a bit where the college is, and it's filthy. And you're like, what, you wonder why things flood, when you pull out 5 trolleys, in there, in within 50 yards of each other. And one was like a dam, it wasn't until I got in there in the waders and like, oh yeah, no, that is a trolley, just thought it was a load of twigs that got caught underneath this gas pipe. And it's like, but these don't have anywhere to clear. We are going to clear that. That's going to be a project we're going to be doing at the end of March. So yeah,
cool. Give me a shout when that one's on. That one sounds like fun to me.
It is cold.
Yeah.
I've got these new waders. A lovely lady called Sue gave us £100 to go and buy some waders, and I put these waders on, and they sprung a leak while I was in there. So my left leg, and I think it was 1 degrees, I think, the temperature outside. So you can imagine what the temperature was in there. Yeah. And I wear shorts. Everywhere I go, I wear shorts. And so I got shorts on with these waders and sprung a leak. And my leg, so cold. It was unbelievable. I had to get these trolleys out. I just couldn't leave them there.
It's like once you've started, I've started, so I'll finish. It's that kind of approach, which is cool.
Yeah. But I can't ask much more support I get off the Bucks Council. It's fantastic. Aylesbury Town Council, right from the beginning, they've been, brilliant. They've just been absolutely fantastic. We just started up a relationship now with the Vale of Aylesbury Housing Trust, which is going really well. So, we are trying to make a difference. It's just the big businesses that we need to really get into, like your Tesco's, because Leicester Road is a big bugbear for us in Aylesbury. It's an absolute mega grot spot, but that road is owned by Tesco's, and the council, they say, Richard, you could go down there and pick what you like, but we're not going to come and get it because it's not our land. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So you have to try and work with Tesco's, and I think I've been on at them so much that I think they've blocked me from Twitter. I don't get any response now, and I do get a lot of people, emailing and messaging me going, "Oh, Leicester Road, can we sort Leicester Road out?" I'm like, look, I've tried, I've been there, tried it. Kofi's tried it, he's still trying it, you know, and it's like, you know, can you do something? You go in there and speak to somebody. You know, if you get permission that you can litter pick it, we'll bring the army down. You know,
Mm.
they've got to dispose of the rubbish. That's what it boils down to.
It's so
Because
frustrating, given it's
it is
not like,
frustrating.
yeah, you're not even asking them for the manpower. You're just asking, can we put some things in your bin? They're already going to have, you know, rubbish collection from that store. So
Yeah.
frustrating. Yeah,
Yeah, it
completely.
is frustrating, really frustrating. You know, and I've said, you know, I've even said I don't want anything out of them. You know, I'll bring the bags, the litter pickers, the people. All
Yeah,
I want you to do is get rid of the rubbish.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Don't need to do anything. I'll do everything, organise everything. We're insured. You know, we've got everything we need to run a successful litter pick.
yeah. Mm.
I just need you to dispose of the rubbish. Well, you know, I don't know. It's just you think you're asking them for millions of pounds. You know, you're
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
You're not at all. The best one we had, because you might as well talk about the negative one, but let's talk about a good one, which was B&Q. B&Q, we went in there. They had some fly tipping in there and went in there. They were a little bit steely to start with, but once you start speaking to people and knocking down those doors, within 4 days, we were in there and cleared 68 bags out of their car park.
68
So
bags. Yeah.
68 bags, yeah. But what they've done is now they do weekly litter picks and they make sure that. And I went in there Saturday and I said to the manager, "Oh, you could do with, you know." He said, "Oh no, tomorrow we're going out there." Went back there yesterday afternoon and it was pretty much clear, you know, and it was a lot better than it was anyway. So I can't ask for much more from them. WH Smith was a weird one. Sainsbury's, you don't get anywhere. Network Rail, you might as well talk to a brick wall. Thames Water, you might as well talk to a brick wall. BT Home Reach, we're trying to hammer with. You know, when they sit at these little green boxes and they take the plastic off the wire, they leave all the wire behind.
Yeah.
But that's not just an Aylesbury problem. Looking at other groups as well, that it is a nationwide thing. So, you know, that's something that we're trying to change, I suppose, more than anything. Sorry, I'm waffling on.
No, it's all good. It's really interesting. The one that always gets me is you know, the Royal Mail and elastic bands around bundles of letters, just forever finding elastic bands and just like
and you've got to think that birds think that they're worms.
Yeah,
you know, so they pick, you know, that's what it comes down to. You know, it's that bigger picture.
Yeah.
So
completely.
yeah. Anyway.
No, it's really interesting. So you've mentioned fundraising and getting pickers in the past. So is there anything you guys are fundraising for right now? Is there anything you're looking for?
Well, we're always constantly fundraising because one of the things that me and Abigail said right at the beginning is that we would buy the best equipment that we could buy. You know, money could buy. We didn't want any naff. You know, you can buy them litter pickers from from Wilco's for a couple of quid, which are fine. You know, they're okay.
Yeah.
But when you're getting deep into a bush, they break, and it just doesn't make economical sense because you're just throwing it away.
Yeah.
And that's not what we're about. So, you know, the litter pickers we get are British manufactured, British made. So, you know, it's not coming from abroad, which is a good thing. So yeah, so we're always constantly looking for new kit. And yeah, we've got a GoFundMe page currently. We raise money through can recycling as well. So we ask people to separate out the cans from the drinks cans, the aluminium cans from their rubbish, and save us those. And then we call her this lovely lady called Emily. She's a Womble as well, but she's called the Womble landlady. She gave up her garage for us to use. So we store all the cans in there because I used to store them on my back garden and on my driveway, and it used to drive my wife insane. So when you're talking, you know, you've got 150 kilos of aluminium cans on there, and it's 70 cans to a kilo. That's a lot of cans.
That is a lot of cans. Yeah.
I think we've recycled, I think it's 700 kilos so far. And I was going to go on Saturday, funny enough, just gone. But I used my van from work, and that had broke. That needed a new cam belt or something, so that was off the road. So I wasn't able to go Saturday. But I reckon there's probably 300 kilos sat in that garage. So we'll be through the ton mark, hopefully next time I go there. So we get money back from that, which Bucks Council match. So any money that we get, so we get double bubble, because believe it or not, you don't get a lot of money for aluminium scrap.
Yeah.
It's 180 quid a ton, which is a lot of cans.
Yeah, I
It's like
imagine.
80,000 cans, something like that. So it's a lot of cans, but so they match it, so it's not so bad. And that's pretty much it, really. That's all the fun. We've had a couple of grants, and obviously the town council as well, setting us up in the start. And so people donating is our big one. That's where, it means such a lot to us, to me, to Abigail, to the committee, when people donate, and even if it's a fiver, even if it's a cup of coffee, price of a cup of coffee, if we can get 50 people to donate a couple of quid, it's £100. That's what's that? That's 10 brand spanking new litter pickers.
Yeah, I was going to ask how much is a set of decent pickers, because that's
a decent picker. I think if you buy them yourself on the internet, they're about 17 quid. We don't pay that, obviously. £12.50 can we pay. So and if people want to buy their own pickers, and if we get enough people wanting to buy their own pickers, that's great. Come to me and I'll get the discount for you, but I need to do it in a bulk order, obviously. I can't just order one. So that's it. We bought these trolleys as well. They're really expensive. They are a bit of a luxury, really, but we had a big old grant from the Vale of Aylesbury Housing Trust, and that's what we wanted to do, especially for our elder members, and our staunch womblers. The real like Queen Womble. She goes out. She goes out. She doesn't collect 1 or 2 bags. I mean, she goes out and gets 8 to 10 bags. So to have that trolley makes a big difference for her, because she can carry a lot more, and it also helps with the recycling, because we try and recycle where we can as well. So it helps with that recycling on the go. And then we got Roger, Superman Roger, who's 81. So he 81, man, and you'll find him in a hedge. If I rang him now, Bruce, I'm not even lying. If I rang him now, I put any money, he is in a hedge somewhere, and he'll be in there. He joined us last July. He's a lovely fella, and he joined us last July, and he walks 10, 12 miles a day, fit as a butcher's dog. He's fitter than me. I'm 43, and he puts me to shame. And but since he's joined the Wombles, he now can't go for a walk without his trolley and his litter picker, his high vis jacket. But he's got one of those trolleys. He's got one of these posh trolleys, and but he's doctored it, so he's got like hooks and hoops and all sorts on it to hold. He's made a homemade fishing rod to fish stuff out of the brook, and he's an amazing man. But yeah, I put any money on it. He's in a hedge. I mean, he brought 16 bags yesterday to the drop off in his car, and that came in at 130 kilos in weight. I mean, and this bloke's 81 years old.
Fair play to him. Yeah, that's awesome.
He's at home with his pipe, and he's out there making a difference in the community, and he loves it. He absolutely loves it.
Fair play to him. That's really awesome. So I guess what would you say, sorry, to somebody considering joining you guys for the first time?
Come and join us. I mean, it's highly addictive. It's good. It's good for the soul. It's good for the mind. You're making a difference in the community, getting out there, getting fresh air. The health benefits are great. Mental health is the big thing for me. I suffer from it myself, and I've got members of my family that suffer from it. So it's to get out there and actually zone out and do something great, and that sense of achievement when you've, like you said yesterday, you cleared out a hedge and you got 3 bags out of a hedge. I mean, when you stand back and look at that hedge after you've done it, you think, wow, yeah, look at that now. The earth can breathe. The earth's a better place now after what I've just done. And and it's really easy to join. You don't even have to contact us. Just whenever something gets posted on Facebook, an event or whatever, if you don't want to go solo in an event, just post it on Facebook, or when it's posted on Facebook, just turn up at the time, and the place, wherever it is, and you'll be made to feel most welcome. And if you want to walk on your own, that's great. If you want to walk with somebody else, there's always somebody else that you can walk with. And it's a big social thing as well. We were going to start really focusing on the social thing. This time last year we talked about it, but then obviously with the COVID hitting, it's sort of put that bit on the back burner. But we are still going to be doing that. But it's really easy to join. It's simple. If you want a solo Womble, I am really low on kit. I'm not going to lie. I think I've only got a couple of spare litter pickers left now, but I am going to start hoinking some of it back to people I haven't heard from for a little while, because I have got a little bit of a waiting list of people that want kit and I can't give it to them, which breaks my heart, because I want to loan out as much as I can. If I could loan out 500 litter pickers, I would. But as you know, they're £12.50 each. That's a lot of money. You know, and funding is hard. Funding is difficult, because I think it's because litter picking is not sexy. You know, it is a dirty job, but you know, we do find it difficult to fund that money. But you know, come to us. I'll help you out as best I can, and we'll go from there. And I'll give you everything you need to know. It's no, you know, you don't have to worry about thinking, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do that? I'll explain absolutely everything. It's fine. You're not on your own. And what solo wombling and finding is that we're hitting little pockets of places that we can't get to as a big group, and clearing, but also it's giving the solo womblers a sense of being in a team, even though we're not together. You know, you've got the high-vis jacket on that's got Aylesbury Wombles on the back. When you read the weekly roundup, you know that, you know, we've had over 70 volunteers out over the last week. You know, so you know that 70 other people are out there doing what you're doing. You don't feel, you know, it's silly, or, you know, some people think it's silly, or, you know, it's not silly. It's, you know, you're doing something great, and you're not on community service. You don't work for the council.
It's those preconceptions I always find really like strange, but yeah, you know, we've had that before. Just when we've been out as a family, like, you on community service? Like, no, mate.
Yeah, what have you done wrong, mate?
Yeah.
What have you done wrong? You know, it's not me. So yes, but you know, you find some interesting things. You might find some money. A young girl, a young Wombolette. That's what we call our kids, Wombolettes. She found £7 down Fairford Leys at the weekend, so they've gone into her piggy bank.
Always
I've
good.
had 4 winning scratch cards, so not thousands of pounds, unfortunately. I think 5 is the most, but you know, a tosser's thrown it into the hedge. I've picked up. Always check the scratch cards, because, like I say, I've found 4. I know a couple of other people have found winning ones as well. And the one thing I don't get about the scratch card, this is going to be me ranting again, is why somebody buys it, loses, and then feels the need to rip it up and throw it like confetti. You only see that with lottery scratch cards. Anyway,
yeah, that is strange. I've never considered it before. That is, it's
only lottery scratch cards. They don't do it with receipts or anything else. Only lottery scratch cards. They feel the need to rip it up and throw it like confetti. You know. So anyway, never mind.
One of those weird human traits, but I'd never thought about it before, but you're absolutely right. So I'm going to go down a slightly more strange alley with questions. So what worries you the most, and where do you see hope as a counter to
that? What in the Womble sense?
In as far, however you want to answer it, as far as Aylesbury's concerned, as far as Wombling is concerned, entirely up to you.
Well, my biggest concern is the amount of fly tipping and litter that's just being thrown and left. And you know, you find a mattress and you're like, why is this mattress even here? People go to me, oh yeah, it's because you get charged at a dump. You don't get charged at a dump for a mattress.
No.
I took 2 mattresses and changed the kids' beds last year. 2 of them I took to the dump. I didn't get charged. It's laziness. It's pure laziness.
Yeah.
You know, just 10 yards away from my house. Yeah. Saturday, I cleared a hedge out. Lovely jubbly. Yesterday, I went up to the shop to get a pint of milk, and somebody had thrown a high chair in there. Why is that even happening? You know, so I you know, the high chair, I have removed it, but it's like, go to the tip. You know, that's my biggest concern. My biggest hope is that they stop doing it.
I agree. Do you know, I take hope when you tell me stories of the likes of B&Q. You've got like the big corporates that actually are paying attention and doing stuff, which is really, really good to hear. You know, and just about how much the community is like rallied around you and supported you, because it's a really awesome cause. And you know, I highly recommend it to anyone who's up for doing it and giving it a go. So I definitely see a lot of hope in what you guys are doing. It's really, really positive. So I know you've mentioned where people go to find you. I'll make sure that we in the slides at the end give links to everything that we've talked about, like where we go to your Facebook and
We're on
whatnot.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If somebody out there can build us a website, that would be a dream come true.
Speak to me after. I can help with that.
Speak to you after.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Because that's we have a lot of people that aren't necessarily on social media and want to find out about us and, you know, meetings and all that kind of stuff. We have got something on Keep Britain Tidy, but they won't let us post anything on because they're not backing like big groups of people going out. So they've stopped us from, not just me, it's not just us, but I mean our kind of groups from posting stuff on there. So it's made it a little bit more difficult. So we've talked about getting a website. I'll talk to you after that then, Bruce.
Speak to me after. Yeah, sounds good. That's really cool. So just to kind of round things off before we say so thank you and goodbye. So at Sustainable Aylesbury, we want our town to be a thriving community, a town that thinks about its environmental impacts and takes action. So with that in mind, what do you like about Aylesbury as it stands today?
What do I like? I like Aylesbury. Aylesbury's quite diverse, a lot of different people, a lot of different cultures, you know, different shops you can go into. You know, it's just a nice place to live, I think, personally. It just needs cleaning up.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I'm from High Wycombe originally, which is only obviously sort of 10 miles down the way, and Aylesbury
and water as well. I mean, there's a lot of good, nice little walks around Aylesbury that I didn't even realise existed until I started doing this, you know, this wombling malarkey. You know, I didn't realise actually that you walk along California Brook. It's actually quite a nice little walk.
Yeah.
You know, when you're out walking your dog, you know, take a litter picker with you, and it doesn't have to be a big bin bag. It can be a carrier bag. You know, it doesn't need to be anything. You know, even if you just pick up plastic bottles, it doesn't need to be everything that's lying on the floor.
Yeah.
You know, you'll just make a difference just by picking up one piece of litter. Makes a massive difference. Sorry.
No, it's all good. When we're out and about with the kids, usually we're on the cargo bike because like they're 2 and 4, so they can't walk anywhere, and a pushchair's a pain anywhere muddy. But the cargo bike, perfect. Just keep your roller bin bags in it, perfect. There's always stuff you find everywhere you go, and you do find weird and wonderful and really just beautiful places. So, what change do you want to see happen?
One thing I would love to happen is I would like all the takeaways in Aylesbury to stop serving that plastic stuff. Yeah. You know, the foam. Oh, look at that. New litter pickers just arrived.
Perfect. Times it better.
These are new ones, actually. These are the new 2021 ones. They got gel handled, so they'll be nicer on the gripping. Anyway, sorry.
I saw you posting on those on Facebook. Yeah, interesting.
Reopen it.
Yeah, let's have an unboxing. Why not?
Hold on. Can't get into it. Here we go. This is what people, you know, if they donate to our page, this is what they, you know, this is what everything's in. We don't, you know, we're non-profit making, I suppose you could say, and every penny we get, it goes back into the group.
Awesome.
Oh, that's lovely. Look at that.
Interesting.
I suffer with carpal tunnel, so that's,
anything that makes life a bit easier. I guess if you're out for a long period of time, you know, then yeah, absolutely. Anything that makes life a bit easier. I also agree with don't buy cheap because you'll end up buying twice. All that stuff is true.
Yeah. That is Bruce, that is magic, I tell you.
Interesting.
Anyway, sorry.
No,
so
it's all good.
I'd like takeaways to stop putting burgers and cups into there. You know, as a ex-chef, if you like, I do still dabble in the old cooking. Me and my wife do street food. Obviously, we haven't done anything for 15 months because of COVID. We do like music festivals and food festivals and that. And when we do these places, they do use biodegradable, compostable containers. They're out there.
Yeah.
I just wish that takeaways would use it. I've seen a lot of things on the internet of saying, bringing in those tiffin carriers.
Yeah.
When you go to a takeaway, is that really possible when we are going to get back to a Friday evening at 1 o'clock in the morning in a kebab shop? I live in the real world, and when somebody's had a few pints of beer, the last thing they're going to be doing is taking this
you're not going to
bring to get their kebab.
You're not going to take that to the pub in the first place now. I mean, at the end of the day,
who's going to? They are going to throw it in the hedge because I was going to swear there. They're drunk out of their mind. That's what I was going to say. They're drunk out of their mind. It is going to end up in the hedge. Let's be real about it. So why not just have something that could compostable and biodegrade away? Instead of these poly things that, when they've been there a while in the bottom of hedges, and you put that layer picker on, they shatter. It's like it's like glass. It just shatters. And then you've gone from one burger box to now having to pick up 20 pieces of this horrible plastic stuff. Anyway, that's it's one of my bugbears. That.
Yeah, and exactly like you say, it doesn't biodegrade. It's just hideous for the environment. That stuff.
Yeah.
Even when it's picked, what happens with it next? They can't recycle it, so it ends up in landfill. So I agree with that one.
If we just ban it, stop making it, it just finishes that problem.
Yeah,
and I'd like to think that Aylesbury could. I think it would. If that happened in Aylesbury, it'd be, it would be, I think, probably the first town in the country to ban that stuff. And it is possible they could do it.
Of course.
It's because these things are so cheap. They're a penny to buy, where a biodegradable one is 10p to buy, which isn't a lot of money. It's 9p, but I would happily pay 10p more for a burger. If it's going into a biodegradable thing.
Agreed. And at 4 a.m. when you're buying that burger, you're not even going to notice the 10p.
No, of course not. No, you're not. You're right.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Just want substance, don't you? So,
exactly.
We've been there, Bruce. We've all been there.
Of course we have. Of course. So, what is the one thing that we could focus on as a community for the greatest local impacts? Do you think? My most nuanced question yet.
I think with education of the youngsters with regards to the environment, I think that they I've passed the hill now, but we had the Wombles when I was younger. I think they're going to be bringing that TV series back. But I just think when I was a kid, we were talking about the other day, when I was a kid, Keep Britain Tidy, you had adverts on the telly. You don't see any awareness around that now. Litter picking in schools is seen as a punishment.
Yes.
Why should it be seen as a punishment? It should be a positive thing. I've got to go and let the dog in. It should be a positive thing. Why is it seen as a punishment? It's that kind of thing I think needs to change. Come on, in you come.
Yeah. So when I was a kid at school, like exactly that, litter picking was the punishment, and it was seen as that, which is why, when you're out picking down the road, you get, the negative comments and why did you do this? Because there's so much over the history of our country that's like seeing litter picking as a negative thing rather than a positive thing. Yeah.
So I think one thing I'd like to see in Aylesbury is more education in the schools. If I had more time, I'd be happily. I am going to go into the college and talk to them about, especially with that California brook running along it. And if I'm going to spend, not me, but we as a group spend a lot of time down there clearing it, I want them to understand that because everything I've pulled out of there so far has been soft drinks, energy drinks, crisp packets, sweet wrappers. There's not hardly, you get the odd beer can, but it's not like there's beer cans everywhere down there. So it is the kids' stuff, and it just needs to be more education, I think, around that for the kids. And litter picking shouldn't be a punishment. It should be like the same as going home early. It's that kind of thing. Watching a DVD or whatever they do at school now as a reward. It shouldn't be. When I was a kid, you had to pick off the chewing gum off the bottom of the tables with
that was one.
Teacher would have a special pair of scissors. special pair of scissors for that, you know. But yeah, I just think that's what we need to do.
Completely agree. Well, that's all the questions I had. So thank you so much for joining me today and giving up your time and for everything you guys do as the Wombles. You do an awesome job. Keep it up.
Thank you very much.
All right. So to find out more about the Aylesbury Wombles, you guys are on Facebook at facebook.com/Aylesbury Wombles, all one word. And of course on Twitter at Aylesbury Womble 1 without the E. And then on Instagram as well, as you mentioned earlier, Richard, at Aylesbury Wombles there. And of course, it would be rude of me not to include the GoFundMe page, so you can help Richard and team with all the gear they need to buy, basically, all of those awesome gel-handled litter pickers. So if you go to gofundme.com/F/Aylesbury-Wombles, you can donate there to the good work that Richard and the Wombles do. And from us at Sustainable Aylesbury, thank you for watching this video. We are at sustainableaylesbury.org.uk, which is where you will find this video, among with everything else that we do. If you don't know what we do, I recommend you check us out, as well as obviously the Wombles. So we are all about making Aylesbury a better place to kind of be, work and live through making it more sustainable and green. In practice, what that looks like is very much up to what you guys are interested in it being. We're looking for as many people to contribute and to participate as possible to our kind of movement. We acknowledge there's loads of cool stuff going on already in Aylesbury, like the work of the Wombles, and we're looking to kind of initially bring together what's out there, but we're going to be working on community projects ourselves as well, based on what the community, so that's you guys, are passionate about. So to get in touch, everything's on our website, but you can email us hello@sustainableaylesbury.org.uk. We're also on Facebook. Facebook.com/Sustainable Aylesbury and Twitter at sustain_Aylesbury. Now, Instagram for us, we haven't got much to show in the way of pictures like you guys. So all that's left to say is thanks again to Richard and thank you to you for watching. Hopefully you found this as interesting to watch as I have had to record. It's been great fun, and thank you to Richard, of course, for being here again. Thank you.